George W. Bush, the problem with the French is they don't have a word for entrepreneur. And I'm afraid we had an Irish minister last year trying to justify water charges. He says, you know, water doesn't just fall out of the sky. I'd like to sing you a song written by Mickey McConnell from Fermanagh, a great songwriter who worked for years as a political journalist with the Irish Times, and then got fed up interviewing politicians when he realised that no matter what he asked them, the answer was in no way connected to the question. I sing this song in many parts of the world and people always seem to know what I'm singing about. I suppose politicians have to be careful. So many complex stories are explained in sound bites these days. No serious investigation, really. And I heard a great story about the problems of trying to say too much in too few words. I heard an interview with John Major on Irish radio. He was talking about the time when he was in power, and he was at a big dinner with Boris Yeltsin one night, and he said to Boris Yeltsin, Boris, he says, could you tell me in a word what the situation is like in Russia at the moment? And Yeltsin thought for a few seconds and he said, good. So Major was looking for a bit more detail than that. He says, could you tell me what the situation is in 2 words? And Yeltsin said, not good. Well, for 20 frantic, fruitless years I worked in Dublin town. Reporting for newspapers I was busy writing down all the words of politicians in my endless quest for truth. 'Twas at such a wasted exercise I squandered all my youth. That's the cause of my misfortune, as I'll explain to you. For I find myself now talking like politicians do. And if anyone should ask me, do I take sugar in my tea, I grasp them firmly by the hand. And this is what I say, well, I'm very glad you asked me that. For at this point in time, in the circumstances that prevail, there is in the pipeline infrastructure implications interfaced with lines of thought which lead to grassroots viabilities, which at this time I'd rather not enunciate in ambiguities, but rather seek to find negotiated compromises which are the bottom line for full and frank discussion, which would serve to integrate with basic fundamental principles to which we all relate, not in doctrine or philosophy, which any fool can see, an inescapable hypothesis confronting you and me. So in the interest of the common good, now you need never fear, for I've got the matter well in hand, and I'm glad I've made things clear. You needn't be clapping, that's the chorus.